Hello and welcome to a bonus guide by Miner in Age of Empires 2 The Conquerors. This one is a civilization bonus guide about the Koreans. So the Koreans are one of three civilizations that have two unique technology. The first one is a land unit called the Wagon, and they cost 120 wood, 60 gold. And they're effectively a chariot, an armoured chariot that's pretty fast. And a way of thinking about them is that they are fast and heavily armoured scorpions. They fire bolts just like any other scorpion would do, and they can get the same upgrades at the blacksmith. So if I was to, they can get the range, and which one is it? Yep, it's the archer armour that gives them the extra armour. So if I were to go to the Imperial Age, upgrade to Elite War Wagon is 1000 wood, 800 gold. So if I show you 159,034, they are now on 200 HP, same attack and same armour, but one extra range. So they're pretty heavily armoured. A fully upgraded Elite War Wagon has 200 hit points, 12 attack, 8 armour, and 8 range. Actually, wait, no, that's not even fully upgraded, I believe. There we go. They have an extra attack, 13 attack now, because I got chemistry, because as the same with scorpions, they get an extra 1 attack, and when you upgrade to chemistry, and their bolts are actually flaming. Now the other unique unit that the Koreans can get is the turtle ships, and when you go to the castle age you can just create a turtle ship as normal, which is 200 wood, 200 gold, and this is what they look like. Well, they don't quite look like this because I've got a mod that makes them look slightly different, but I think they look better like this. And you can upgrade them to elite turtle ships, which is 1000 food, 800 gold, and the elite one has 300 hit points, 50 attack, and 6 armor and 6 range. Now what we'll do is we'll see how these fire. So I've got a house here, and you can see they fire pretty quickly, and they're firing bolts, and it's useful against many units because they'll be able to cut through the units just like any other scorpion would do. And if you look at the elite turtle ships, if you go on to Age of Empires 2 The Conquerors, the single Conquerors campaign, at Noryang, I think it's the last one, or the last chronologically one there is, you play as the Koreans, but you get turtle ships there, and that's kind of like an introduction, because turtle ships, you could treat them like cannon galleons. They fire cannons, they fire cannonballs, but they don't have as much range. However, they are much faster. So if I were to show you this, you saw how quickly that was. So they are pretty quick in their firing, so they're very good against units on land, as well as any other ship that's trying to get away. The Koreans' unit technology is Shunkuchon, and that gives an extra 2 range to Mangalores and Onagers, and you get it from the castle. And with the, I think with the upgraded version of Age of Empires 2 Conquerors, you only get 1 extra range for Mangalores and Onagers. It's a bit confusing, or it's simply just there's an error in the book. So if I were to create a Mangonel, at the moment it's got 7+1 range. Oh, that's another thing I need to also say just a bit later on. But if I were to get that, yep, they only get 1 extra range. So I believe actually my book is wrong. Shinkichon only gives 1 extra range for Mangonels and Onagers. Now the team bonus for the Koreans is that Mangonels and Onagers have an extra range anyway. So this is very useful for civilizations such as Celts or Mongols if they were allied with the Koreans, because then the the Mongols, they can get siege workshop units that move 50% faster, so they can see further. Well, they can move quicker to the area, see further, and fire. And then with the Celts, if they get fewer Celtica, they, even though they might be able to fire further, they have more hit points anyway. So you can see there I've got 7+2 range. Most other civilizations will only be able to get 1 extra range from siege engineers, which is at the university. So if I get that, the Mangonel now has 7+3 range. And if I were to upgrade to the Onager, 8+3 range, siege Onager, there you go. So those siege Onagers being at 11 range is very useful for cutting through plenty of forests far away, or reaching over forests or walls to get to other buildings or units. Now, some bonuses that the Koreans can get that no one else can is that villagers have an extra 2 line of sight. So they can see a bit further here, which makes them very good in Dark Age scenarios, because it means that they can just see, because you want to try and scout around as much as you can, see what's around you, see if there's any more deer or any more boars, and so by having an extra 2 line of sight is very useful. And having that extra 2 line of sight, you'd be able to see, for example, stone piles much quicker. And the Koreans, they mine stone 20% faster. And this is very useful because they are very much a tower siege civilization. Because they also have tower advantages. So at the moment I'm in the feudal age. I can't quite get to the castle age, but let's just get a couple of buildings. So the Koreans, they get an extra range in the castle age and another extra range in the imperial age, but the tower upgrades are free. So if I go to the castle age, you can see that went to a guard tower, and it now has 1 extra range there, so 8+1 range. And if you get fletching, which you can in the castle age, so I would have an extra range for the watchtower anyway, but I can get vodka now, and that allows the guard tower to have 11 range in the castle age, which is very useful indeed. Only the towers get the extra range, not the castle itself. If I were to go to the imperial age, I'm now at a keep and get 1 extra range, so I've got 8+4 range for the keep, and then finally bracer, which allows me to have a maximum of 13 range for these keeps. So if I were to get a university, get chemistry, which gives 1 extra attack, ballistics, which allows the arrows to be fired much faster, murder holes, which allows the keeps to fire down right at people below, and then masonry and architecture, which allows for more hit points, and heated shop. So you can get quite a few upgrades. So a fully upgraded keep would have 2,723 hit points. They can only garrison 5 people, but they have 11 attack and 13 range. Now if you place them on top of a hill at a choke point, for example in a Black Forest match, they are really going to hurt the enemy, especially because they get 2 extra range than every other civilization would. Those are all. Oh, actually, yes. One other thing I will say is that bombard tower upgrades. They require chemistry, but once you get chemistry, you can create your bombard tower. So they don't have the upgrades, the range upgrades that the keep can get, those extra 2, but they're still pretty good towers to have alongside the keep. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part, which shall be about the Mayans.